morning.
Good morning.
We're back in the kitchen to make our second, Dr. Mary, you're off camera, to make our second week of non-alcoholic holiday drinks. Truthfully, these are not Dr. Mary's most favorite drinks, but that's all right because he doesn't have to love everything. You might really love them.
You might like them.
I really like them. So we're making a drink called the mulled maroon. It's from a book called Batch Cocktails by Maggie Hoffman. Quinn helped us find this. Quinn loves the chemistry and the science and the artistry of cocktails. So he's got a bunch of cocktail books. So this is basically the equivalent to mulled wine, but obviously it's mulled juices. And I think the key to this being high quality is exactly like wine. If you use cheap wine, it doesn't taste very good. If you use cheap juice, you're gonna be really disappointed. So let me give you the ingredients. You need Concord grape juice, 100% juice, and Concord is richer and less kind of grapey tasting, like fake grape. It tastes more like real grape juice. You need pomegranate juice. We bought 2 kinds because pomegranate juice turns out we can't get pom in Fargo anymore. At least I couldn't. So first I got this, but then I realized this was from concentrate, which is okay, but this is fresh squeezed. So this felt better and a little bit more like what we would want to put in this. Then you need star anise, cinnamon sticks, and cardamom pods. And that's really it. So we're gonna do, I halved this batch because A, I'm the only one drinking it, and B, we don't need 12 cups of mulled juice. So let me read you the recipe. It calls for 5 cups of Concord grape juice. I don't think you probably really have to measure, but I'm gonna just do half. I mean, in fact, I'm not even gonna do, okay, so that's ended up being 2 cups. Dr. Mary, will you slice 2 orange and 2 lemon pieces, please? Then you need 3 cups of pomegranate juice, so about 1.5 cups. Okay. Dump that right on the floor. I feel like Julia Child. All right, so you're gonna put this in a, clearly I had that on a little too long.
It doesn't have to be that hot.
But it doesn't need to be that hot, but that's all right. It'll keep it nice. It'll make it warm up quickly. If it doesn't burn it.
Shake that out.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Then you need some brown sugar. I'm not absolutely certain you need brown sugar with juice, but I put it in because it called for it and because it's a non-alcoholic recipe. So I thought, well, I'll do that. So I didn't put in quite as much as it called for. The full batch calls for 1/2 cup. So obviously we would be using a 1/4 cup. Math division goes backwards. 1/4 cup. I probably put in about 2.5 tablespoons.
They say maths can save your life.
Then you need cinnamon sticks. So it calls for 8. I'm putting in 4. You need 8 anise seeds. Putting in 4. And then 8 cardamom pods. You want the green ones because they are just, they impart a little bit more flavor.
They're more sustainable too.
Oh, good for them. And then the other thing that you want to do, it's not like your fingers if you're making it for other people besides yourself, but you want a nub of fresh ginger. And you probably know this, but you can peel fresh ginger with a spoon sort of effortlessly. I rarely peel it, but this isn't organic, so I'm gonna peel it quick, and then you just wanna loosely chop that up. Dr. Mary, can you loosely chop that? I don't care, it can just be kind of 6 big chunks. I don't care how you do it. And then you want to just let it simmer for about 10 minutes. So that's perfect. Thank you. Dr. Mary's a whiz-bang. Look at, just so you can see his beautiful chopping. Well done.
You should have seen me in my youth as an undergrad with a dissection kit. There you go.
Oh, of course. This would be part of that, wouldn't it?
Some skills you never lose.
So,
There you go, kids. Stay in school.
if you're a Methodist, you will recognize this. I did not know this. Again, my minister from years ago, Rich Zek, Welch's is a Methodist founded company. The Welch family started Welch's grape juice so that Methodists didn't have to drink wine at communion.
There you go.
But if you are a Methodist or you grew up in a church that didn't drink wine but drank grape juice, right about now, you feel like it's Communion Sunday. It really smells grapey. And I find something kind of very comforting about that, but I suppose it's because I grew up with that smell. So while that one is steeping, we're gonna do the second one, which I adapted from a thing that I found last year. So if you've been to Hampton Court Palace in England, that was Henry VIII's favorite palace during all of the plagues. So it's a perfect recipe to be talking about right now because it was removed from London, but it was still very close. So Hampton Court Palace is now a public land trust building and grounds. It's absolutely incredible, isn't it?
It is.
And
It's got 215 points of attraction.
Wow, who knew? It's very big.
I only knew that because I re-looked it up because I knew Dana was talking
Oh,
about it.
exciting. I love when you bring a little factoids to
There
Daily
you go.
Dose. Anyway.
Cuter than Google. There you go.
And more modest. Anyway, Henry VIII had the first chocolate room in Europe. So it's a room dedicated purely to chocolate because somebody brought it to him, I forget who, and he became obsessed with it. So he had chocolatiers whose sole job was to make him chocolate port every day, whether he asked for it or not, but because it was time intensive, they had to be there and have it ready to go. So we found a recipe last year for Henry VIII's chocolate port, which I will also post in addition to the mulled maroon, because A, the video is so charming, it's almost more than you can take. But it calls for port and the best chocolate you can get your hands on. Now, that can be semi-sweet or bittersweet chocolate chips, if that's what you have. That's the first time I ever made it, I just did it with a bar of 70% pure cocoa chocolate. But then I found on this new little company that I'm pretty nuts about, nuts.com, organic cacao paste. I know, we are a laugh a minute today. Organic cacao paste, you can also get it on Amazon, but this is actually about the same price. And it is these little kind of wafers of pure cacao, which means it has zero sweetness to it. Do not take a bite of it, it's terrible. Chocolate, as we know it, is not good. But I started thinking about, well, what am I gonna do with these 2 bags of cacao paste that I ordered, thinking I was gonna wanna use them all the time. And then it dawned on me, I could make Henry VIII's chocolate port. And then when Quinn sent us this mulled maroon recipe, I thought, I bet I could make non-alcoholic chocolate port. So that's what we're doing with the second recipe today. So that also calls for a little bit of brown sugar, and you wanna put this in a double boiler. So brown sugar, a couple of these tabs or some chocolate chips or some bars broken up, however you want to use your chocolate. This is kind of a funny little recipe addition. The end of a spoon, so technically the back of the spoon, but this spoon is too fancy because I'm channeling my Henry VIII today.
Don't lose your head.
Like this much flour. And I don't really think it makes a difference, but the English guy tells me to put it in, so I'm putting it in. He's a chocolate historian and a Henry VIII chocolate historian. So then you add your port. But in my case, we made a batch of this yesterday to try it. And so I added yesterday's batch to the double boiler. And then you want to just melt it all down. And it really is. I'll show you the difference. We're going to drink both of these in glass jars so that you can see the difference in color and what the chocolate does. It is fabulous. Fabulous. And I'm just going to go on record and say, I like the non-alcoholic version as well or better than the one with port.
There
And
you go.
I kind of love port. I kind of love the idea of port more than actually drinking it. But anyway, so we'll do both of these drinks in just a few minutes. But I have to tell you a super funny thing that we laugh about and have been laughing about since we decided to make mulled wine. So we have this fabulous couple friend, David and Wayne. I don't think they would mind me calling them out. And they were over for dinner 6 years ago. And I had just gotten back from taking my dad to see Quinn in Rapid City for an orchestra concert. And Rapid City has a really cute winery called Prairie Berry. And they do all kinds of wine tastings. And we had tasted a mulled wine that we both thought was really good. And so we bought the mulling spices. And they do smell good. In this case, it's orange peel, allspice, cinnamon, and cloves. And you know, it's 6 years old now, so it's kind of past its prime. But I brought home a bottle of Prairie Berry wine. That was actually wine, because they do grape wines as well as rhubarb and berry wines. And I decided we would have this as our pre-dinner drink. So this is mulling on the stove, and David and Wayne walk in, and somebody says, oh, it smells good, because it kind of smells like a potpourri candle or something. And then I serve this up. And David, who I love so much, takes one drink and says, sweetheart, what the F is this? So kindly, so nonchalantly.
That was a good telling, that one.
And we laughed so hard. He said to me, no, we don't drink mulled wine. He put that down. They opened a good bottle of wine, and that was the end of the mulled wine. So we laugh about that pretty regularly. So David and Wayne, if you're watching this, I will not be bringing you any mulled juices today, but we are making it and thinking about you with terrific fondness. So what you really want to do is you want to let this steep for about 10 minutes. Then you want to take it off the heat and you want to sample a little. And then you want to put it back on for 2 to 3 more minutes, add some more of the spices if you think you need to. But I don't think we're going to need to, so now we're just going to serve it up. Can you do me a favor? Can you split these in half?
Sure.
Sorry, I forgot to ask you that. We're having narrow glasses. So normally you would want to strain this so that you don't get any of the pieces of stuff. But in the interest of staying within 15 minutes, I'm just going to carefully scoop. So this is the mulled maroon. And you want to garnish it with a lemon slice, an orange slice, and an anise seed pod. And these remind me, if you've ever had Vosges hot chocolate, either in Chicago or I think she's got one in New York.
Check that out.
Incredible.
Look at that.
She serves her hot chocolate in champagne flutes, which I think is so spectacular. Oh my gosh, I know you don't like this, but still, it smells good, doesn't it? You're being very kind. So that's what we're serving these in. All right, so hold on. You don't want either of these things to boil. Obviously, if you were using alcohol, you don't want them to boil because you don't want the alcohol to boil off. But in this case, there's no reason for it to boil. So you just want to have them kind of at a hearty simmer. Don't you want to make a pirate sound or something to that,
No,
Dr. Mary?
I don't.
Oh, it sounded like something you would...
I thought about it and I thought, no.
No, this is a mature show. And,
It is.
Yeah. Oh,
And I've got a
my
knife, so we have
That's
to be
true.
careful.
All right, we're going to let those sit for a minute.
Never do pirate impressions with a real knife, kids.
Who do you think is watching this?
It's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
No one knows.
So then I'm going to dish up the hot cocoa. And let me just say this. So I made a batch last night just to make sure it was good. And it is. But I drank it. Cacao is full of caffeine. And it's also extremely rich. So about 1 o'clock last night, I woke up just like this. I could have gotten up. I could have done like 3 hours worth of work. So maybe that's why he drank it for breakfast. Maybe he was just an alcoholic and drank port at breakfast, which I think we can all assume is true.
Everyone was an
I think so too. But you want to drink it in small amounts. I usually serve it in espresso mugs, which is perfect. So let me show you the difference. So this is the mulled maroon. You can see it's beautifully dark, but this is the mulled, or the hot cocoa and port. See how chocolatey it looks? Dr. Mary. Okay, that's gonna be hot. That's why I'm still holding it. Yeah, that's why you hold it down here. Okay, here we go. Cheers, Dr. Mary.
Cheers.
He doesn't care for it. I think it's incredible.
It's
I'm
good.
drinking
I mean,
his,
if
mine,
you
ours.
actually are looking for an alternative for mulled wine, this is the one. It's very good.
It's really good. And it tastes really complex, which is what's so nice about it. And I think it's because we got really, really good pomegranate juice and then Concord grape juice. So I'm gonna post both these recipes, but first I'm gonna take a drink of this and let you know how amazing it is.
And be wired for the rest of the day.
Oh my gosh. Do yourself a favor. Make this, drink it as mulled maroon, but definitely make the hot chocolate. All right, we'll see you tomorrow with Tristan Cartoni, our good friend, as guest Thursday. We're looking forward to talking to him.
Forward to seeing
I'll post both of these recipes and let us know if you make them and what you think. We'll talk to you soon.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.